Welcome to the Val and Ang Show. I'm Val.
I'm Ange.
All right, on the field, off the field.
We got your game plan.
Let's take the game to the next level.
Let's go.
Today we got a special guest. As you see this young lady sitting here, Brianna Samuels, Allentown, Jacksonville, Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
Jacksonville Dolphins. Girls lacrosse. You know, and today's episode, we want to talk to you about the recruiting process from a player standpoint and also a coach's standpoint, you know, now that you're in the mix of that. But a little bit about Bree, you know, trained Bree for, God, I'm about to tell on you, you're getting old.
Yeah.
You know, trained Bree for a long time. And one of the hardest workers I ever had in the gym, right? And, you know, never complained about anything, just always did her thing. And she knew what she had to work on. You know, you tell this young lady that she can't do something, you put a battery in her back and it's just fully charged and she's going to go out and do everything to prove you wrong. You know, watching her play, watching her on ESPN, top 10, behind the back shot, game-winning goal in college. You know, her ceiling was always high because, you know, she fought to be the best even when the odds were against her. You know, and this one here, we get to spend time together in the summer, you know, watching her coach, listen to her as a coach, but also knowing that she's fresh out of the game and bringing it, you know, to these young ladies in a different aspect. So, all right, Bree, welcome to the Val and Ang Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome.
As soon as Val said, I said to Val, all right, your turn. You're going to bring your first guest on. And he wrote back right away, Bree, you're going to touch base with her. And we're going to see, he's like, you're going to love her. Yeah, and then learning just a little bit more about you has been great. So tell everybody just about your journey from Allentown Redbird to a Jacksonville Dolphin and ready to expand as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a journey. It's been, I started lacrosse second grade. There was a very small girls lacrosse program. The lacrosse in general has grown so much. So my first year I was on a girls lacrosse program. They cut it then because there wasn't enough girls that signed up, had to move to a different town. They eventually works with my mom and stuff. She was a huge part of it. She got the program back and Allentown's like a powerhouse now, which is so cool to see. So it was really cool to be a part of the beginning of that. But yeah, I did JSS, where me and Val coach, Jersey Shore Select, and now it was at the time T3, just different name change. Went up through that program. Actually, my first year there, we only had one team, and then my second year there was an A and a B team. So I got surgery. I had this huge cyst in my neck. It was the craziest thing ever. I was in the hospital for a week, and I come out of the hospital, not even 2 days. I think I just got stitches out the day before tryouts. So I literally came to tryouts, just got stitches out of my neck. I was like, you know what? I got to try out. I got to show up. I got to do what I got to do. And I got put on the B team, but obviously nothing you can control with that. Obviously very disappointed about that. But then I just kind of took it as an opportunity to get better. And boy, did I work my ass off. I was outside every single day. I was like, I'm making this A team because all my friends were on the A team. I worked my ass off.
How old were you then?
Sixth or seventh grade.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely very transformative year of my life. Worked my butt off, and that's where I really feel like I grew most as a player, just during that time where I had to work. If I just got put on the A team, I probably wouldn't have worked as hard, wouldn't have developed my stick skills as much. So during the moment, it sucked.
Yeah.
But looking back at it now, is one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
So then worked my butt off, got put on the A team, and then I was the first one on that team to commit to a D1 school. So I was really proud of that.
What year did you commit?
So their September 1st rule happened my freshman year.
Okay.
So you couldn't commit or talk to college coaches until September 1st. I ended up committing September 8th.
Okay.
Yeah. So very
As a
short
junior?
time. As a junior,
Okay.
yes.
Cool.
Yeah. As a junior. So super excited. Definitely very fast, but I ended up getting a full ride, which was all you can ask for.
Did you play varsity your freshman year?
I did, yes.
Allentown?
Yeah, I was fortunate to start. We had a lot of good players. My freshman year, we had a Penn State commit. We had a Rutgers commit.
Wow.
The year before I came there, we had someone who went to Maryland, won a national championship. So,
that's cool.
So.
And did you, oh my God, Val, you were just going to say something. I cut you off.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Did
My
you?
feelings is one now.
What position were you?
Attack.
Attack. Okay, that's what I was trying to get out. It
Yep.
wasn't that complicated, Ange. Come on.
Oh yeah. So tell our audience, what is the process like for recruiting, especially being that you went through it and then now you're on the back end of it, you know, or in the mix of it as a now college coach?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's a lot of different ways I can answer that question. It's like recruiting in general is just a loaded topic.
So I got it for you. Ready?
Yeah.
So you're a player.
Yeah.
You're going into September 1st. It's your summer going into your junior year, right? Yeah. What were some of like your struggles and what were some things that made you say, okay, this is all going to work out?
Yeah. So during my recruiting process, I was very fortunate. So technically, I like to think of it as two different summers. Like right now, the 27s are getting their summer into junior year, and then the 28s are up next. So it's really just those two summers that are the most important because, yes, college coaches are watching the 27s right now, those going into junior year, but they're also taking peeks at the 28s and like just like stopping by, you know, and seeing who to expect for next year. So those two summers are very important. My summer going into my sophomore year, so the 28s this year, I had a great summer. I got a lot of looks from college coaches, like top schools. I was looking at Navy, Colorado at that time. They were like both in the top 20, and a couple other schools, Rutgers, and everything. So super good summer for me. So I was going into my sophomore year and into the summer of junior year feeling very great, very good, like feeling I was in a good spot. I hit a mental block then going into that summer, going into my junior year, the most important summer where all the college coaches are watching you, I had a mental block and I felt the pressure because at the time I was lucky enough to be the go-to person on my high school team and on JSS T3, who was looked at to make all the assists, to do all the goals. Like there's pros and cons to that. Like I was fortunate that I was in that position, but I also felt the pressure of it. So it got to me and I started to, I wouldn't say I necessarily played bad, but I didn't do anything. And it's kind of like the same. I felt like at the time, I was like, that's the same thing as doing bad, just not doing anything.
Did you freeze up or?
Yeah, I got really bad mental like performance anxiety. So like during the start of the game, I would like sit there and I'd be like shaking and I'm like, oh my God, my legs feel like heavy. Like I feel just like so heavy right now. I can't move. I can't do anything. Wow. And I've never experienced that before. So that was definitely hard. So like I didn't necessarily play bad, but I didn't do anything. So
just pressure. You know? Pressure builds that up, but you gotta. How did you cope with that? Like how did you overcome that to actually step foot on the field and just go out there and play to your best ability?
Yeah, for sure. So it took a lot. A lot of it was just not even looking at the college coaches, like not even focusing on that, like focusing on my teammates and the people next to me and working for them to make them look good. And in return, it made me look good.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I work, if I did a dodge or whatever, like looking to feed to them also makes me look good, but it also makes them look good when they catch the ball and shoot. But I like saw the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win with that, but just like kind of not thinking was my exit strategy out of my headspace, just not thinking at all. Cause I did put the work in beforehand and I'm someone who likes to go in prepared. So I came in prepared. So I just had to trust I knew what I was doing and just let the athlete take over, you know? So stop thinking about it. Yeah.
Would you say that like that forced you to play a different game as opposed to trying to force the game to come up on you? You played a completely different game because in the past, right, I've seen girls that try to take over a game and then drive into three people, as opposed to saying, no, I'm gonna drive and I'm gonna look and see if I can open the game up even more.
Yeah, for sure. I would say exactly that. It allowed me just to see everything on the field and be able to be a team player. Like, so even though I was having that mental block, wasn't scoring all the goals, I was able to feed and assist and ride my ass off. And sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. Ride my butt off to like get the ball back to then maybe I caused the turnover. I didn't necessarily score the goal, but I got the ball back so that freaking Jordan Johnson can go score that goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so it definitely allowed me to be more of a team player.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now you're seeing it, you're recruiting, right? And what comes up a lot for us is the girls that didn't really get looked at going into their junior year, but now they're going into their senior year summer. So I guess they're going to be a senior September 1st, but then it's this summer that they're still trying to get looked at. Do they still have a chance?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know girls who are just committed to Jacksonville over the summer. Like,
wow. Okay.
In years past too is more prevalent. But yeah, I mean, definitely. I know it's awful to think about, but like, no one's really committed until you sign your NLI. So there are definitely college coaches who try and poach other girls. But there are also like college coaches who are looking for the diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
Like they know you're still in high school, you're just developing. Like everyone's a fair shot. They could be coming to watch one girl play who's committed to them and then see some other girl like work her butt off and be like, oh wait, maybe I should take a look at her too. Or like, is she going any, like, so I think it's all fair game.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a great point. Definitely.
Yeah, that is what we try to preach to these athletes. Like I've known athletes that waited to get committed to like commit to where they want to go, like right before graduation. Like it's borderline like, okay, maybe I should just really take my time because this is a major decision where you're going to live for the next 4 to 5 years. And with that being said, how was your time in Jacksonville?
Oh, I loved it. I was by the beach. I had a beach house for 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
I was loving life.
Yeah.
No, but on top of that, like athletics wise, I mean, it was a great school, huge family environment. So I was super fortunate to be walking into like a great place, a great culture created by Mindy McCord, who was the head coach for my first 2 years. It's great.
Mindy's a rock star.
That's cool.
Mindy's a rock star.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest difference was playing as a college athlete compared to a high school athlete?
The competitiveness and the ability for everybody just to compete without having to be told to compete. I feel like in high school, it's like, I'll just show up and I'll just be, but like everyone showed up at like in college just ready to go without the coaches even saying it, So it was really cool to see because I was someone who was like that. Like if I show up somewhere, I'm going to give it my all, not like just show up to show up. So being surrounded by other people who have that same mindset.
Yeah, that's what we see a lot in the high school space is you have half the team that really is showing up to compete at a high level. And then you have kids that are there just to be there, which they're rightfully so. Athletics can be such a big stepping stone for anything. And so that's the hardest part about being a high school athlete right now for the high achievers. Yeah. So how do we bring them along,
Yeah.
Well, I always say overachievers don't like mediocre people. And mediocre people don't like overachievers. And it's just like you've trained with people that don't really want to do much.
I get so annoyed.
And
It's so annoying.
And then all of a sudden, you get a psycho like me, and it's like, well, you guys don't want to go hard, but this one does, right? So, that kind of puts the coach in a situation to say, listen, do I tailor back? And then this athlete here doesn't get this, get the intensity that they want, or do you lose the one that needs to be pulled along? And me as a coach, goes to an overachiever by, listen, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. How many times on your college team, high school team, you had to pull girls along even when they did not want to be pulled along?
Throughout my entire career. Like I was someone who always did extra work as a player. So even my freshman year coming in, I was out in the field 2, 3, 4 times a day. Probably don't recommend doing that, but like 2 times is enough. But from my freshman, sophomore year, I had my coaches pulling me in their office. This is college, being like, you need to bring people with you, is what they always said to me. Like, empower others to go out there with you. Bring people to do the extra work with you. So I've had to pull people along. I mean, in college more so than in high school, because you can't really force your friends in high school to do something, especially when they're not committed at the next level. They don't have that drive. So it's just talking to a brick wall. But in college, I had to a lot. Just even if it was like, I turned it into like little skill sessions and I'm like, hey guys, the entire offense is coming. Let's go. Yeah. Maybe 2 people were showing up, but if I told them the entire offense was coming, they're like, oh shoot, I can't be the only one not showing up. Yeah. So like little mind games kind of like that.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because the girls are going to follow the players, they're going to follow the coaches, but if everybody's following without the coach having to say anything, then you're in a totally different realm. Yeah. That's when you click. Definitely. Yeah. That's cool. How did you, were you a captain your senior year?
I was not, no. So how captains kind of worked was, it's unfortunate, but at the end it became like a popularity contest kind of. So the girls who were our captains were those girls who felt like they had a lot to say in the summer, but it was like you might have a lot to say, but it could be fluff. Like not backing it up. So we voted on captains second week we got to school. So it was kind of early, so we didn't really see like who actually stepped up, but that didn't like deter me from like being a leader. Like I knew I had stuff to say, and we went through that year. Unfortunately, captains didn't really have a lot to say throughout the year or do a whole lot. So it provided a great opportunity for other leaders to step up who may not have been captains, not just myself, but like other people. So it created more leadership around, which was a pro out of that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I always say that you don't have to have the title of a captain in order to be a leader. You know, like in college, we had captains that the coaches designated. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Right? You don't run this ship. We do. You know, because at the end of the day, like you can have a star player, you know, that rattles off, 10 touchdowns throughout the season, blase, but the drive comes from the team. And it's a team atmosphere that wins the game. It's not just an individual player. So I can piggyback on that with you. And I didn't mean to like downplay my captains at all. Love them, but I'm not downplaying mine.
Provided an opportunity for everybody to be a leader.
Downplaying my guys. Those are my dudes right there. But at the end of the day, it's not just one person that wins the game. It's a overall family. It's and what we call is a brotherhood. It's a hood that we created in order to, really get the benefits of the goals that what we wanted. And the goal was to win. And you want to win at all levels. And you want to win no matter what sport you're playing.
Yeah.
You can vouch. If Ange is not speaking from the goalie experience, that defense is going to fall apart. If you're not communicating in girls lacrosse, I guarantee you that ship is drowning.
Yeah.
Literally down there in Jacksonville. We're not talking on the field. If we're not talking down there on the field, as a defense communicating on the back end offense, you got to have communication.
The flip side, were you going to keep going? No, I thought you were going to.
I always say, and then I stop.
I've been reading you. So.
I pause and then I'll.
Slow burn.
Check yourself out. I experienced the flip side of that. So I was a senior and we had junior stud players. One was from Zimbabwe, one was from South Africa. And they were the best. Yeah, basically the best in the country, and our coaches made them captains, but they didn't know how to communicate and connect relational-wise. A lot of it had to do with how they grew up. A lot of it had to do with cultural, right? But I was the connector of everybody, but just didn't get the captain name because it was like, I might not have done everything perfectly, so you can't say, because I didn't really go to class. But anyway, this flip side of it is like you have those people that sometimes become captains just because they're really good, and then we don't teach them how to actually be a leader. So there's like both sides of that, which we try to tell the kids, definitely.
For sure. Yeah.
Because some of the best players people think will make the best coaches, and it's actually the complete opposite. You see it more than ever.
For sure. I know I was more of a player who was not quite, well, my freshman, sophomore year, I was on the quieter side, but as I grew into myself, my junior, senior year, I was more like individual. Like I would go up to two people if I knew you guys weren't working well together or weren't like, your stick skills weren't there today. I'd like go up to you individually, be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
We good?
I love that.
So I wasn't more vocal as the whole team, but I'd still,
Well, from what it sounds like, and this is why I think you'll be a phenomenal coach, is that you understand individuals and how to cope with them. Like I got to watch her coach, and this past weekend I'm loudmouth. I show up and she's coaching my 26s. Those are my girls, and I had to catch myself. Hence the reason why I went and sat down on the bench and just started getting quiet because I almost lost it. And I was like, you know what? And I sat back and realized that what she was saying, she was 100% on point. And I was just like, she got it. Let me leave her alone. And, not be that overbearing coach / like person. I'm like, so I sat back and I was like, they're going to turn this thing around. Probably after a couple of different words that I used, but then Bree started putting them in positions, and I was like,
they needed a little kick in the butt to get them going. But
So what are 26s? So they're the juniors going into senior year?
Half of them are committed, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
so
that's the group you
know
have.
a bunch of those girls, the RBR girls from the Carly room.
Carly, yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is Brooke play? is Brooke?
Todd?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Brooke is there?
Yeah,
Yep.
Brooke is there.
Yeah, she's sweet.
Right?
My
Oh
girl.
yeah, rock star. Right?
Yeah,
is.
Brooke is
Rock
super
star.
She's good.
Yeah.
You know, and she's the perfect candidate for them because
Yeah.
you know she's in that gray area of fresh out of college. Now she had a year underneath her belt of coaching, right? And then we have girls on that team, you know, and throughout the entire travel career, some of them don't want to play because they're not receiving probably what they thought they should receive.
Yes.
How would you work with an athlete on that part?
That's been a big struggle so far, coaching that group of girls. I mean, they're a great group of girls, but like you
They're
said,
awesome.
half of them are committed, have that drive, actually show up every single day, like ready to work. And then the other half are like goofing off, chatting with each other. And like, I'm trying to find the balance of like teaching them important stuff, but also recognizing half of them aren't committed. Club lacrosse, it's not college yet. You're supposed to have like some sort of fun, you know, it's supposed to be like still enjoyable.
Yeah.
So trying to find that balance of like strict, get to work, but also like, hey, you can still have fun in the sport. Like it's a sport that we love to do. Like you're playing, it's play for a reason.
Well, I think you said the main word was love. Like if you truly love this sport, you'll play it for the love of the game until you can no longer play it. And those girls that's talking about our 26 team, like they're all rock stars. They're all so special in their own way, and they can find and create whatever they want in their game. And they can use this platform as a stepping stool. And I tell it to them all the time. I'm like, listen, I don't care if you go play lacrosse in college because the end goal is what you do after you're done with college. You know, what are you going to do with life after that? And, you know, some might turn around and want to come back and be a coach. Some might want to turn around, you know, go run a Fortune 500 company. You never know, right? Some might want to start their own podcast. Some might want to start a little. You just never know. Like, and this is what we're trying to get them to understand, that this is not the end of all end. Like this is just the beginning of your future, you know. And play this game until it can no longer be played anymore. You know, so you know you got to play it at the collegiate level. And now you want to go into a coaching career, but also you're looking at it from a different aspect as well. You know, so you know, kudos to you, but this group needs you in so many different ways.
Oh yeah.
You know, even the ones that are committed, even the one, and not just our girls. There's so many clubs out there that do that. Right. So, you know, they got to lock into your message and give it to them from a player standpoint, but also as a coach's standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do catch myself sometimes I'm teaching them a little bit too intricate X's and O's, and I'm like, okay, they don't need to think about this stuff just yet. I need to look at the broader picture, but they catch on quick. Like they're smart girls. They know what they're doing.
So you got your degree in psychology, which I'm of course going to talk about because I have two things that have come to mind. First off is like, what do you see the biggest growth as a female coming from high school into college? Like, how have you seen the most growth? Like, what grows the most? Maturity? Like, you know, do they believe in themselves more? Do you guys have to really hone that in as college athletes to talk about that?
So you're talking about like going from an athlete in high school to an athlete in college, and what grows within girls?
Yeah.
It's a great question. I would say just a lot of it's like off the field, just maturity and confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, I know speaking for myself, I was someone who was kind of quieter, like shyer in high school. Like I put my head down, just kind of did the work.
Yeah.
And then really came
Sound
into
like me.
into my own in college.
I'm chilling around my locker.
But like came into my own outside of lacrosse, and then it translated on the field.
Yeah.
So just maturing in general, like within college, just coming into your own person really helps you on the field, I guess, if that answers your question.
So have you seen like, so when you were in college, I'm sure like there was off the field issues that, you know, and you guys probably did a lot of work on your mindset kind of thing, performance. And then when you became a coach for a year, did you see that girls needed more of the confidence, getting rid of the self-limiting beliefs, getting along better socially? Did you see more of that as you grew up?
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, I mainly say that because my first 2 years under Mindy McCord, we did a lot of, she went to school for sports psychology.
Oh, cool.
So we did a lot of like mental health, like every game day, there was a ritual where it was like, close your eyes, visualization. And she would walk us through visualization. A lot of people were like, yes, love this. A lot of people were like, get me out of this room. This is not for me. I need to like be go, go, go until game time. It's honestly personal preference.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we would do like team bonding exercises. She would have us read a book going into each year. One of them was how to be a great team player. Energy Bus was another.
Oh yeah.
I forget. There was like 2 others though. The Mind Gym was one of them.
I read that.
So it just helped build our mental strength and our mental like acuity.
I know Mindy mellows Val down. Like,
Yeah.
She has that voice that can just,
Yeah.
and you go right there, and then it's like that yoga
Yeah.
voice that you hear, and she's like that.
Yes,
and that's-
yes.
And, you know, she's just a good Southern soul.
Yes.
So you kind of, I always say, like, if I was a girl and I was playing girls lacrosse, no offense to all other college coaches, but I'm coming to play for Mindy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally going to be that person.
Where is she coaching now?
USF.
USF.
Yes.
University of South Florida.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. There you
They're
go.
green too.
And-
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and she's a great person, but also a very good coach.
Yeah.
You know, and she understands time management and stuff like that. Just watching her coach from afar.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell a lot about somebody with how they maneuver within high-strung environments.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
and she's always this even
Yeah.
keel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like that she really paid attention to that. I tell a lot of our elite athletes in high school that we deal with that like I'm trying to get into to know the language of meditation, visualization, telling them about their beliefs, how to have rituals, and they kind of stare at me and I'm like, listen, you're going to be ahead of the game when you get to college because most programs will do something along the lines of it.
We did it. We did it at Rutgers. Like we
Yeah.
used to literally have to lay on the field.
Yeah.
You know, that's in pregame, and it's just like visualize yourself making plays.
Yeah.
Like see yourself in that atmosphere right away.
Yeah.
You know, and where do you see yourself in that moment? And if you didn't visualize yourself making the plays, you're never going to make those plays. You know, you're going to make the plays by luck.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to be lucky. We want to be in the moment at all times,
Yeah.
even when you're not even there. So, you know, visualization is a big thing, and you know, tapping into your mental. I can say I am mentally strong even when, you know, your physical aspects are already gone. You have to mentally take yourself to a completely different place as an athlete, you know, because it's such a fast-paced environment, you know. But in today's world, like you got to like really talk to yourself and tell yourself
Self-talk.
things like, hey, listen, you got to get up and get going.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm giving her crap right now because she goes to a local gym. I'm just like, this girl.
She gets
You know?
older.
Well,
I don't need to be running 400 yard
Yeah.
sprints no more.
But you feel accomplished after that when you're done.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You out
I
here
know,
running
I know,
marathons. A
I
marathon's
know.
worse than a 400-yard shuttle. You're
I
talking
know.
about the tolling your body after a marathon.
I know.
Forget about it.
Oh my God.
Did you study neuroplasticity towards the end of your degree?
A little bit. I did, gosh, I forget the name of the class, but it was like, it dug deep into the science of psychology and the brain. And yeah.
I'm like obsessed by it because I
Really?
really do believe that it starts in your mind. And that's why I believe like that if anything, while I'm working with the high school athletes, even if they're not going to the next level and we'll use it to continue to become more elite, it's for the kids that need to believe in themselves no matter what they do.
Yes.
And if we can get them, I just like, in any way, shape, or form, I read a book about neuroplasticity. You know, and I tell you, like, I wasn't a great student. I got my degree in nutrition.
Okay.
And so I did have a minor in psychology, but I'm obsessed
Yeah,
like with
it's super
learning
interesting.
because I feel like with my mind, I can dummy it down to be able to teach kids on how to actually use it to where they're like, oh, I get it. That word is really big. But what you're basically saying is I can recreate my mind, you know, the renewing of your mind. So,
Yeah.
which is neat. I really want to get into more of that, but
Yeah,
it's-
for sure.
it's important.
It is super interesting because, I mean, how you learn is all in your brain, like you said. Like, the more you do it, the more your neurons are firing to each other, the
Yeah.
more that connection happens and the stronger the neuron gets.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why repetition is huge in everything you do. Like,
Yeah.
you rep it to the point where those neurons, like, knowing that motion, doing that motion is so strong in your brain that it just happens like second nature. And that's like with
Yeah.
mental, like, Oh my gosh, I almost said mental health. That's with like sports psychology though.
Yeah.
In general, like you say positive, if you're like a negative self-talk, like
Yeah.
you want to say positive stuff, it's like fake it till you make it.
Yes.
So like something bad's happening to you and you're like, crap, I can't do this. No, you say to yourself, even if you might not believe it, I can do this, or I'm really good at this. I can do this. And you keep saying it to yourself. And eventually your brain will be like, okay, yeah, I am really good at this.
Yeah.
And I just did it. Like it
Yeah.
just, you say it and over again
Yeah.
and it'll
the best out there have that kind of mindset, no matter what you look at. Like, it's what it is. And they've had to work at it. They don't just skip that
hard.
part. Yeah, it's really hard. I was just going to ask you did you, like as a coach, like you were probably closest in age to your players, right? Like, did they come to you a lot with other stuff that they were dealing with? Or did you guys kind of like veer them off to like a psychologist or that kind of thing? Did you find that some of their off the field problems would affect their play?
Sometimes. That was one of the struggles we had with this group though, is just they were all best friends, which was super nice, but we were really trying to work on those deep like relationships and like getting vulnerable with each other, because that's how you build a relationship, that's how you build trust, that's how you build respect, is just vulnerability.
You just said my favorite word.
So we did a lot of work on that. So we tried to do a lot of work on that. And so that was one of the hardest aspects with the girls. So we tried to do that, but you can't force it out of anyone, you know? And I think we grew in that aspect as a team for sure this past year, but with anyone, you can always keep working on it.
Well, yeah. Because you see people, they say, we're going to go team bonding. And they go to a pizza place and there's 4 people to a table and those 4 kids are talking about like...
And they probably live together.
The beach. Yeah, exactly. But then those other 4 across the way, like, you don't even know them. So it's like, be very intentional about what your team bonding looks like so that you ask those kind of questions. Like, I'm just one of those people. Like, I don't let Val just like pretend like everything's okay. Like, I'll ask him questions and I'll keep asking them and be like, okay, you got that face on today?
Yeah.
But to me, every
Locked
relationship... Yeah, every relationship is worth it to get to that level because then you don't know each other. Like,
Right.
I don't want surface.
Yeah.
And I think you compete at another level if you're not surface.
I agree. And that's one thing. So Mindy was my first coach for the first 2 years. And then Tara Singleton was my second coach. And that's one thing she did a great job at. We would do accountability buddies. So we would have to meet up and like talk over break and stuff. And sometimes she gave us prompts because it would be like surface level stuff.
Yeah.
But she was like, no, you have to ask about their family. You have to ask like those deep questions to really get to know them and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something that was...
Well, knowing each other makes that play better. You know, from a athletic standpoint, when you know your teammates, you know what they can do. Like, I know I shouldn't, throw this kid the ball right now because
she ain't catching shit.
He dropped all that shit. Like, forget about it.
His girlfriend just broke up with him. It's not okay.
Like, hey, man, today you're not in the right namespace. And as a coach, you got to know that as well too. Like, I always say coaches are always evaluating their players, and they got to know who to piss off, to get the most out of them, who to leave alone because they might rip your arms off, or they might throw a ball at you that day because, they're not on that. So you always got to evaluate yourself, but also evaluate your players. That way you get the most out of them. That way you know who you're working with.
Yeah.
I said to Angela a while ago, I said, if I ever become a head coach, the first thing I'm doing is studying all my players. And I'm having one-on-one meetings just to get to learn about them. And once we learn about the individual, then we go to the team. And then we get them say, okay, all right, I got to teach it this way and I got to show it this way. And then that way now everybody gets on the same page. So that's a big thing of, but the big thing is knowing each other as teammates. Yep. You got to know what everybody's ability is, so that way now we go out and we play together. And that's the big thing that's missing sometimes, especially when like a new coach comes to a team. Like, you got to get them to one buy into your system, but now buy into the overall system of the team.
Right.
Where you'll get some individuals think they're Booby Miles. Like this is.
Who's Booby Miles?
From Friday Night Lights, where it was like, I don't need to lift weights. This is God's game. Then all of a sudden, God's getting tears.
Did you know who he was?
I didn't. I was just nodding. I was like, yeah.
Right?
I was like, yeah.
Tears his knees up. So, make sure you go watch Friday Night Lights, the movie, not the episode show. But,
I was just like, yeah.
But this is what happens, and all of a sudden the career dies because you're not part of the team. When you think you're bigger than the team is going to move together as opposed to an individual.
That's so true. I remember, and I just talked to her the other day, Tara, my other coach, for my last 2 years, one of the first things when she came my junior year, she said to me, she sat me down individually and she was like, I want you to work on building those relationships with everyone else on your team. And like, obviously I had relationships with everyone on my team, but I had like a certain group I was close with. And like, you can't be close with 45 other girls. It's like impossible. But she said, I want you to work on building those relationships because I mean, I was stepping up in a way on the team that was going to get me more playing time that year. And I didn't have necessarily those relationships with some of the girls on the team because I wasn't playing on the field with them. Like, so it's very different. But yeah, I completely agree. To build those relationships, you just gotta, it helps to build them off the field to then help on the field.
Yeah, close the gap.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to walk by one of your teammates on the way to class on campus and not say hi. Like, it's like when the girls come back for travel and they come from each individual team and they're just so happy to see each other. Like I said to the 26 of it, this is such a tight-knit group. And they win because they're like that. And, you know, they all can say, let's go, and they know what let's go means. Yeah. You know, and then all of a sudden something switches and then they'll figure it out. You know, that's something that they can never get back. And, you know, would you say your high school career, right? Like everybody has a saying in a high school career, but you'll never forget your high school days because those are girls that you played with since you were so young. Like, I remember in my wedding was all of my high school teammates. You know, like you can't beat that. Like these are guys I grew up with for years. You know, would you say that's how your high school career is? Like,
yeah. I mean, there was a couple of us who played at high school together that also went to T3 and played together. So yeah, I'm playing like 3 different club teams at once.
Connections.
I'll
ever have.
You know, and it's fun. Like, get together now and probably shoot the crap. I know me and my friends do. Like, it's a phone call away. And we said like we were just playing high school ball the other day. Yeah. You know, even though I'm old now. don't you call me old. I didn't
say nothing.
You know better to call me old.
I didn't say nothing.
My dumb ass should go run a marathon right now. I'll pay the price tomorrow.
Oh gosh. Hey, it's doable.
No, I'm not.
The coach-player relationship that you like kind of got into when you first started coaching now, you probably learned that you have to learn each kid's individual style.
Yes.
Was that an adjustment for you?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I kind of always knew that going in. But it's kind of like what Val said. Like, I always knew, like, whenever I do get a coaching job, hopefully soon, I always knew I wanted to have a meeting with every single person on the team just to get to know them, who they are as a person first, but then who they are as a player, like their ins and outs, like what makes them tick. Like, I was someone who my coaches could literally scream in my face and I'd be like, okay, yep, and go do it. Other people, you do that, they'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you know, like they get in their head. So you can't like, as weird as it sounds, like you can't treat each player the same because not everybody's the same. Yeah. Some people, like I loved doing film and going out on the field. So I could learn like just by watching and by walking through it. Some people need to walk through it, to see it, to hear it. Yeah. Like, you know, everyone's different. So
Everybody
just,
learns different.
How to handle that.
Respecting that is huge.
Yeah.
I love that.
I got a big question for you. Because after you graduated from Jacksonville, you went back and coached at Jacksonville.
Yes.
How was that? Because you just graduated with those girls.
Yes.
And then you came back and you were now coaching them. How was that?
Yeah, it was definitely difficult at first. I received that question in every single interview I'm doing now, looking for a college coaching job. They're like, how did you set that boundary? Yeah. And I did. I eventually did. It took a little bit, not too long, like a week or two, but like at first I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to go about this. Like, it was definitely an adjustment for sure, because you do all the normal college stuff with all of them. And like, you know, you gossip, you talk, and, going from that to like basically completely nothing. Like I had to set a hard boundary at first to not talk like none of that, because it was just the easiest way to kind of set that boundary and then go on from there. So it was a huge adjustment. It was an adjustment on my part, but also an adjustment on their part, because I wasn't initiating like all the gossips or talks, but sometimes they would come into my office and be like, oh my God, like, you know, like all those little stuff. So it's like a learning curve on both ends. But yeah, it definitely was hard, but we got through it. And I think, you know, we were better because of it. Yeah.
Definitely.
I always think that would be a hard transition.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when I got done playing and I went back and I was a strength coach at Rutgers, I was like, I do not want to do the football team. Because like these are guys that were here when I was like freshman You know, I'm like, I have probably helped recruit some of them down the road. I'm just like, no, let's stick me over in the rack. I'm fine over in the rack. So I'm over here. I'm with baseball. I'm with softball. I'm like, don't put me with the basketball team. They put me with the basketball team. I was like, all right, screw it, let's go.
Yeah.
And we wound up, you wound up making an adjustment, and but being around your teammates is probably one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
Because after you just got done playing a couple of years later, and all of a sudden you were right out of college. And
Yeah, it was definitely hard in a lot of aspects, but like it also made it easy in a lot of aspects where I knew them. Yeah. I knew what made them tick. I knew what made them work. And yes, I found myself maybe shooting the shit or goofing off with them sometimes a little bit more than I probably should have. But like it wasn't in like practice or anything. It was just like, and that's how you build the relationships though. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What would be 3 things that as coaches you look for in a recruit?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. Top 3 things, me personally, I love the hustle, the extra plays, like the little gritty plays. If you mess up, okay, great. Like you're going to mess up. Everyone does. How do you handle that? Do you just like slam your stick on the ground, or do you run back, try and get the ball, like hustle your butt off, make a cause turnover and transition the ball back? Like just the little things, the hustle plays are huge for me. Other things, wow. I mean, basic, obvious stick skills. But not everyone's going to have the best stick skills. So like sometimes you'll have those athletes who are just good athletes overall, like, and how you can develop them. Do they show, like, are they coachable? Like, are they willing to work? Do you watch one of their coach give them a tweak and then they make an adjustment in a game and you see that from the sideline? Then for sure. Because not everyone has elite level stick skills all the time. Like at Jacksonville, we had to develop players. Like I know what it takes. Like I know what it looks like. So having to develop that for sure. One more.
What do you think about body language?
Yeah, I think body language is huge.
Energy about them?
Yeah, like not everybody's that rah person all the time. And like no one expects you to be. Yeah. Just how do you handle adversity? Like how, if something goes wrong, like, again, like I said, are you slamming your stick on the ground? Or are you puffing your chest up, ready to make the next play? Like, what do you do for the next play? It's all about like making the next right move in my mind. Like, and it might not be the perfect decision, but like, is it the next right move?
Yeah.
Yeah. So body language is huge.
Yeah. I wanted her to say all 3 of those things, and she did.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I think that's what, like, when a lot of kids, when they're feeling the pressure and they're overwhelmed with this decision, I had a lot of field hockey kids just have like the July 1st deadline or whatever, and they're like, well, now I'm going to go in and they're going to be at my tournament, and if I mess up, it's going to be over, and all I think about is messing up, you know, and it's just like they're actually looking at you to mess up, and it's how you handle the mess up. And getting that through to them is so hard. So I think the more content we can get out there for them to see that, they can relax and be themselves.
Yeah. I remember when I was going through that recruiting process, like I said, I had a crappy summer. But I did gain interest from Navy because of one of those hustle plays. Like I remember I was at the Naval Academy tournament in the fall and I lost the ball away, but I hustled my butt off to get to the opposite 30 and I caused a turnover. And they mentioned specifically in their email, they were like, that she's like one of the hardest people we've seen working in the ride. Like, yes, she messed up, but like she got the ball back for her team, or she at least hustled to get it back,
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to make mistakes.
No.
Like we say all the time in the huddles, like especially with our recruiting years, like who cares if you make a mistake? Get the ball back. Right? Don't drop your head and show frustration, show disbelief. Like no.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody wants to see that. No college coach wants to see you hang your head.
Yeah.
Right? Let alone your coaches on the sideline who's spending so much time with you. I don't want to see you hang your head. Get the damn ball back, right, and go score a goal.
Yeah.
Right? Or if you turn the ball over, don't let it out of there.
Yeah, for sure. One of my college coaches actually, we had a saying, it was called fail forward. We want you to fail. Like fail as many times, fail as often, fail as hard as you want, but that's how you learn. Failing is how you learn. You're not going to learn from like just winning alone. Like you learn your biggest lessons and you make your most growth through losses, through failures, So like taking those risks and just doing it just because like if I take a dodge on one defender, if you're my defender, I take a dodge, I try and go over top, it doesn't work out. Okay, at least I tried. Now I know I have to roll on you, or now I know you're a shifty defender, so I have to attack you with speed. Like I learned because I tried and did it, and it didn't work the first 5 times or 6 times, but it might have worked on the 9th time. So just going out of it.
I like presence over perfection.
Yeah.
Like really teaching the girls to be present in the moment of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't think about that last play, and you're just present, you're not expecting to be perfect. You know, when you're expecting to be perfect, you'll never be present.
Yeah.
It's where anxiety comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I like
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna end on a game. You ready? You guys are gonna play.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like an all-in question game. So I ask a question, and this is to get to know you better, and they need to know you a little bit better, the audience.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an open book.
Yeah.
No, I ain't. A wise man keeps a still tongue.
Just like silly questions.
Yeah.
Let's see if you ready?